Hello everyone, it's Mike Lazar here, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we are going to be analyzing a chant live. So this is going to be a very in-depth analysis. So instead of being, Parley and Mellows phrase by phrase, it's going to be more like very, very in-depth, breaking everything down detail by detail, so that you can better understand the chant. Because of my other videos, it's not very feasible for me to completely break it down. So let me check the audio videos. That is working well. So we should be good to go. So the first thing is the tone. It's third mode, but what can we decipher from it? So this tells us the first mode. The first note, but also the tone. So tone ra, third mode. So just erase all this stuff. The peak amount for third mode is forgive me, I'm a bit under the weather right now, so just bear with me. So this is we're gonna stop there. We're gonna analyze it. So starting on Lord, the way I like to break it up if I'm starting off and I'm confused is just to write it out. Lord, it wants it to be sharp. Lord, I have. So the ra is natural, but the vu is going to be 2 Maria sharp. So it's going to be a third of a half step sharper than usual. Lord, I have cried on. So what's happening here is Lord, Lord, you go up to, but not simultaneously, consecutively. Now what is this thing, the Sifu stone? What is that going to do? It's an ornament. So when you have this, there are 3 ways to interpret it. You can do it straight, da da, or it could be where did I put it here? Da 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 da, da 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 da, or it could be it should be down here. Da da da. So you can have the Lord I, or Lord I have, or Lord I have. So these are 3 ways of interpreting that. The next thing, this is 2 beats. I have da 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 da. So half cried. Half 1 1 2. Now this, the varia, that's just like a stress mark. Doesn't mean anything notationally. It's more just orthographically you put it there. So it's nothing to be too concerned about, just a little accent mark. So let's erase this stuff. How do I erase all? There's gotta be a way to do that. Just grab it and delete. Alright. I feel like very old with this technology. So the next unto thee. Again, sorry for being sick. Can't do much about So when you have this an andi kelima with an apli, so the apli. So let's look at this. With the apli, this is 2 beats. Da da. Because the next note is a gorgon, it's 1.5 beats. Da 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 da. But when you add the andi kelima, you can have a fancy little turn with it. So how does it sound like with the fancy turn? Da, 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 da. So this is what I would do for it. Da, 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 da. So for on, this is gonna look more like this. On to. Now this one, we can break that down. Candimata is second because it's on top, and the Rogan always goes in the Candimata. On to thee. So this really is gonna be more like this. Unto thee, Lord, I have cried unto thee. So that's what that sounds like, and that's what all these fancy characters really, deciphered into. So let me just erase this, and we can continue. So the next thing is this phrase. Hearken unto me. So this is a lot of fancy stuff here. We can break this down and simplify this. So Zoke, half, and the varia is just an accent beat. Action mark. Half, and then this breaks down to that. We're gonna stop here. Hearken, half, whole. Hearken. I think I placed Kent earlier before, but that's how it is. So that's how it's gonna be. So the next, let me just erase this. The next line has the same thing as before. This andi kelima with the andi kelima with an apli. So the same thing. Unto me. Let's write it again. Da 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 da. To me, unto me. Same thing. Half, whole, and then da 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 da. So the whole thing. Lord, I have cried unto thee. Hearken unto me. Now this character, essentially this is a thora, but this is the enharmonic thora. So it's basically saying enharmonic, but starting on ke. So basically, make sure you interpret the zo as 6 Maria instead of 8. That's what that character wants to say. So we can erase those and then continue. The nice thing so far is that everything has been stepwise. So nothing has been basically like jumping all over the place. This has been mostly just steps, which is a good thing. Not too difficult. Nothing jumping around. So the next thing is this phrase, which is also no jumps, but a lot of rhythms. So the nice thing about this is that it's straightforward. Whenever you have a character like this, or anything with on top of an Oligon, the Oligon acts as a chair. It doesn't mean anything. So where is it? Right here. So what you do is you ignore the Oligon and you focus on what's on top. Kezoke harken. So kezoke. That's what's gonna be. So harken. And then we're gonna continue the rest. On. No, when it's the chair, same thing. Ignore the Oligon and only view what's on the top, which is what you want. On to. Let's try to make this a little bit bigger, but it's alright. On to. So that's that. Me. Here. Oh. Oh. Same thing as before. Oh. Lord. So here. This is going to be 3 beats at the end. And if you look here, you got this stuff here. Oh Lord. When you have the varia here, again, same thing with the stress mark, just a little bit of a push. Oh Lord. Nothing good. Oh, just a little bit. When oh Lord. When you do that, essentially it gives it that push and that little push or the accent without overdoing it. So the whole phrase, we can just delete the text here. Hearken unto me, O Lord. Very straightforward. Now when you have these things at the very end, Lord, what some people like to do is interpret it as Lord. So vugapa, so oh Lord, which you can do. So the nice thing so far is that all these things have been stepwise. Everything has been up down by just one step. Now we have jumps. So this, let's break it down. Up 1. Then guess what? You're going to add 2 more. So total up 3. Add 3 more. Total up 6. Up 6 from pa is to ni. So we're going from pa to ni. So pa. So if you're having trouble with this jump, sing up to it. Pa vu ga di kezoni. So Nizoke, Lord, I have. It just walks right down. Nizoke. This is where we have a bit more deep analysis. Pa goes the harken. Pani pani zonini pani zoke zoke ke. Let's write it out. Crod up 3 because you have the 1 here, and then when it's on top you add an extra 2. Crod. So half half. Crod. on. Now here, the zo, we can make the zo a little sharper because this is actually diatonic. So you want the zo to be 8 mare here. Lord, I have cried unto thee. Now this zo, I usually like to make it a little bit flatter. So I like to keep the zo a little bit more natural up until the very last one. Because that way it kind of resolves itself, which is a good thing. If the zo resolves, then the cadence finishes, which is, you know, gives completion to the cadence. So, the whole thing. Cried on. Cried on. That's those two. And the next one, we can just break it down again a little bit more. Again, when you write stuff out, it doesn't hurt to do it. It honestly, it really helps. So so this iporwi becomes 2 apostrophe. Alright. We said here the oligon on the bottom is a chair, doesn't mean anything. Da 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 da. Oops. And then with the aporwi, the organ goes in the first one. First of the apostrophe. Oops. So da 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 da. So oops. That's essentially what it's gonna be like breaking down. Unto thee. And when you have this anikenma there, you can do an accent or an ornament there. What you couldn't do is on to the oh da 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 da. Just a little flick, like a little flick on the to the, just like touch the knee, just like flick it, you know, just like to the. You can't do that. And I would do that. Normally I would do that to the, but it's optional. This is not like the other ornaments where it's kind of like, although you don't have to do it like by law, you're supposed to. The next one, hearken, another complex rhythm. Let's write it out. Zo, zoken, zoni, zoken. Da 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 da. Same thing here. Da da. Now the running allophron, it's like the aporwi. So with the organ, just there's a syllable here. Da 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 da. Hearken. So the whole thing is cried unto thee, hearken. So that's essentially where it's gonna be. And if this is a live stream, you guys should be able to ask questions in the chat if there is any questions. So if this is making sense, good. If it's not making sense, if you need anything clarified, it's good to let me know. So that's those phrases. And then let me continue. So if you continue here, it's a jump. The ended. Next one is ni to un. So ni pan is okay. Now it's flattening it by a little bit because that's what it does when it points down. So it's gonna flatten it a little bit, and we're gonna get a nice rhythm. Ni pan is okay, the is okay. So let's write out the rhythm. Up 3. Nipanizoke. This is just a straight line. Let me remove that. Now you have this thing. The C stone on the bottom. That is just for orthographical reasons. Essentially, the way you write the music. That is what you want to do. So, essentially, that is not really interpreted for ornamentation. That is mostly there for writing the music. So how it's written. So unto me. Now you can make the here a little sharper, but you don't have to. You do unto me. You could have that ornament there, which works. That could be what you want, but it's not necessary. You could leave it. You could omit it, and you'd be fine. This is not one of those necessary ornaments that you have to do. So that was probably the hardest section of the piece. The next one. Kenny. So this is up to. Ke to ni. Kenizokedi. Attend to the voice. You're gonna have the same ornament as before. Vo. So let's just write it out, just because. Da 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 da. Voice. Da 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 da. Tend to the voice of, and then Kezo Nipanizoke. So the Kezo Nizoke. I messed up the parlay a little bit. I shifted up. Let's write it out again, because this is another weird rhythm. Ma. So the ke zoni zoke the ke supple supple, and then cation da 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 ke Shun. Same thing with shun, you can do that. Supplication. And that so that's that phrase. And then again, bear with me. My sickness is annoying, but it is what it is. How do I erase it? Here we go. The last phrase, or last two phrases, that is. Ke, ke. Now this character is said we go to diatonic on ke. This character up here was diatonic on ni. So that's what that character means. This character down here is diatonic on ke, which essentially means that the zo is going to be a natural. So ke, ke. This is going to be up 4. Because remember, you have this ipsilon on the right side, it's up 3, and the oligons up 1, so that in total is up 4. So, ke, ke, when I, pani, 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 zoke, zoke, ke. When I cry on to the same thing here. The Andi Kenwa is there because that's how you write the theses. But you can do it to the, you can do that there. And this, the sindesmos or eteron, I think sindesmos is the word you can use there. The sindesmos essentially can be a type of flutter. It's up to interpretation. How would I interpret it here? I'll do this. When I cry unto thee. Or you do, when I cry on, or something like that. You can do a little bit of a flutter in your voice. Cry unto thee. But then again, my style, the style I sing in, or at least the way I like to interpret music, is a lot more ornamented than most people. So, again, if you want to have the ornaments, do it. If you don't want to do the ornaments, this and this you can omit. I would not omit any of these ones, but you can omit those ones. Hearken. Again, this is a chair, we can ignore that. Hearken unto me, O Lord. So here, da 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 da. Hearken on. Here, we can separate them. To me, me. Here, this I'll interpret like this. Me, da 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 da. Just touch the zo. The me. And harmonic, ajam. So the ajam, when it's on the ga, makes the vu natural. So that's essentially what this is saying. O me, O Lord. So, same thing here. We ignore the chair. O Lord. And the Lord is 3 beats. So, we got through this whole piece. We don't need to go through the catentinto. You don't have to go through this. But it's probably a good idea that we go through the Lord I've Cried, A to Z, just to make sure you guys get it. So, with words, we'll go slow. Lord, I have cried unto thee. Hearken unto me. Hearken unto me. O Lord. Lord, I have cried on to thee. Hearken unto me. Attend to the voice of my supplication. When I cry unto thee, hearken unto me, O Lord. So that is the whole thing. In this video, or this stream, I wanted to make sure that it covered everything in depth. So the timings, the thoras, the jumps. I think that when you cover those things in depth, you can really understand the hymn better, and then those analyses or pieces that you solve basically can translate into improving other chants as well. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, I'd really appreciate if you liked and subscribed and shared. And don't forget, I am still teaching. I'm still going to offer the Teaching the Tones course. So if you're interested, email me at michael.azar@learnbyzantinechants.com. It starts May 16th. So remember, stay strong, keep doing your practicing, and I'll see you on the next one.